Blog Talk Radio.
What's going on out there, good people? It's the family from G.F.T Radio. We got a nice show lined up for y'all tonight. It's the fellas, strictly the fellas. Shout out to Sonny. You know, they had their little girls' night. Now it's time for the fellas to do it big. I want to introduce the co-host. There go my boy Willie. Say what's up, Will?
What up, dope folks? It's Willie Styles. Thanks for joining us tonight. Like Clint said, it's fellas' night, so, you know, make sure y'all tune in. We're going to have a great show tonight.
Yes, sir. And we also got a guest host tonight, my boy, my college roommate, Jabril. Say what's up, bro?
Peace, world. Good morning. What's going on, man? Holla.
So, you know, if y'all listening tonight, obviously y'all on right now to www.blogtalkradio.com/GFT Radio Show. If you missed the show tonight, if you want to catch a replay of the show, y'all can hit us up on our website, gftradioshow.com. We're on YouTube, all of that. Phone lines open up tonight at 10:15. The phone number is 657-383-1155. That's 657-383-1155. Hit us up. You know what I mean? Join in the conversation. So, all right, jump right into it. You know, this past weekend was Father's Day. So, you know, everybody on here fathers. So, start with you, Willie. How was your Father's Day?
Bro, man, I had a great Father's Day. This was the first Father's Day in, like, ever out of the 15, 20, 25 years I've been a dad that I've had the opportunity to just chill. You know what I'm saying, man? I mean, every Father's Day, it's like I got a list of things to do, a ton of things to do around the house. But this time, you know, I just spent the time with the kids. We did a picnic, went out to the park near the house. I live in Detroit, so we got what they call metro parks. They're like similar to state parks, but they have a little extra stuff in them, a little more well, you know, kept up. So went to the metro park, hung out with the fam. Shout out to my brother-in-law and his people out there, man. They put on an amazing picnic, barbecue, games for the kids. They had everything, man. It was beautiful, man. I mean, a bunch of brothers. I would say it was like 8 to 12 brothers out there, just, you know, professional brothers, you know, linked up, made this happen for the kids and for the dads too. But, you know, we really did it for the kids, and it was an amazing thing. You know, you don't see that in social media and all that other stuff out there being advertised, you know, brothers, you know, doing something special and something good and positive for other brothers. So, you know, I just want to say big ups to those brothers out there. I forgot the name of that group. I'm kicking myself right now. I should have wrote it down, but it's a great group of brothers here in the city of Detroit just doing. There's a bunch of different groups of brothers doing different things out here, so shout out to them.
That's what's up. Well, what about you?
Well, I spent my Father's Day weekend coordinating our second annual Father's Day cookout with our youth football team here in Baltimore, Maryland. And, you know, I just wanted to give it back to, you know, the youth that didn't have their fathers in their life. And, you know, we did, you know, the usual, you know, Father's Day cookout. We invited everybody on the team. Even if you wasn't on the team, we did a community cookout right in the middle of Baltimore. And we do, you know, this is our second annual Father's Day cookout for the Golden Jack, a youth football team. And, you know, we just, you know, we spread love, man, you know, just for the youth. You know, we here, you know, to mentor and, you know, empower the youth and for the next generation. So that's how I spent my Father's Day weekend, besides, you know, my godson joining us and, you know, my brother joining me and everybody else, you know, and I had a good time.
That's what's up.
Oh, that's nice. That's great, man. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Hell yeah. You know what I mean? My Father's Day was real chill. I mean, I enjoyed it immensely. You know, I enjoyed actually the whole weekend. You know, my daughter made me a little card, and her preschool class came home, gave me a nice little card. I thought that was dope, you know. And, you know, I was a little injured. I had hurt my back working out, you know, strengthened a little bit. And, you know, my baby, I was in pain, and she was trying to take care of me, even though she tried to turn my back into a trampoline at one point. You know what I mean? She tried to break it. But you feel me? Outside of that, you know, it was chill. You know what I mean? We was going to sleep, and I was laying down. She's like, "Dad, your back still hurts." She came on my back. You know, to me, that was big. You know, that's what's important to me. Those little moments right there. That's what I enjoy about being a father. You feel me? You know, we had those moments all the time, but you know, it was kind of special that something like that. You know, being kind of down physically. That, you know, my baby, my 4-year-old. You know what I mean? She was 4 years old, about to turn 5 this year, and she was, you know what I mean, looking out for daddy. You know, and so that's how my Father's Day went. I felt like that was great.
That's all that matters.
You know what I mean? So, you feel me? Shout out to all the fathers out there, you know.
Yes,
and
yes.
Another thing. This is 1 year. Normally, because we talked about before the show, social media, and Brad was talking about how he canceled. He deactivated his social media site, and I used to do that all the time too. And how I regulate mine strictly, you know. And around Father's Day, I always used to delete a lot of people because I used to hate, you know, when Mother's Day comes, because we talked about this before. We had a show about this. When Mother's Day comes, you know, everybody is so shout out to the mothers. You know, is rarely any disrespect from the fathers coming towards the mothers. But then on Father's Day, when you get on social media, instead of just shouting out the fathers, you know, for some reason, you know, everybody, a bunch of bitter people get on there and they just start, oh, you know, fake dad, you know, Facebook. It was for these people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That. Yep.
This go round, you know, I got more friends on my social sites than I had last year. And I can honestly say, like 98% of the posts was all positive. You know, you had a couple ones, you know, you had some that was just joking, you know, which ain't no problem. You had some that was really trying to spit that venom, you know what I mean, like the hell on Father's Day, this, that, and the third. But for the most part, like 98% of my posts was all positive. Now I did that. You feel me? I feel like that's important to put out there, that fathers are just as important as mothers.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, and I agree. I had the same situation. I concur, rather. I have the same situation where I saw a lot more positivity this year. You know, there's always going to be the negativity, right? And then there's going to be the people who, you know, who bring up the situations from previous years, which kind of brings up some discussions. But you know, I saw a lot less of the bashing, you know, or the people who are like, you know, oh, you know, I will give a shout out to Dad if he was ever, you know, that kind of mess. You know, it was a lot less of that this year for sure. And I know we're going to touch on that later on in the show. It's just, you know, I think the men nowadays, you know, we trying to show a little bit better, you know, and then the younger fathers that are coming up, you know, we done been through enough. There's seen enough negativity that we, you know, that we're trying to change the face of fatherhood. You know, and it's starting to take off a little bit. And I think in general, people just want to, you know, give respect where respect's due versus, you know, continuing to proliferate this trend of negativity in fatherhood.
Yeah, definitely. You know, at the end of the day, you know, a father's role, either a mother's role, is both equal, even if you're absent or you're present. But even if you're not present, that doesn't mean that the nurturing or, you know, the well-being of the seed is not always there. So there's no need to bash. There's no need to be negative about it. If you wholeheartedly feel as though your co-partner, you don't like them, don't take it out on the you know, the newborn, or, you know what I'm saying, or your son or your daughter. Just make sure everything is positive so they can also see that is co-parenting is, you know, always there. And at the end of the day, you know, you be positive. No negativity. You know what I mean?
Right. I had to learn. That's something I had to learn, too, you know, because when you go through something with somebody, y'all no longer together, and then the issues arrive, you got to learn that once it's over, it's not about y'all no more. All is over. Like, it's about the child. So there's no need to be bashing each other, you feel me, or bashing, you know, just do your job. Like, you know, as long as you're doing your job, you feel me, and that's all that matters. And I felt like this year it was more of, you know what I mean, women, even though if they had issues with their child's father, they were still appreciating the fact that the child's father was doing something. You know what I mean? That he was involved. You feel me? And I as a black man, I appreciated that. You feel me? Like, because I think, what he mentioned, the younger fathers coming up, my father had me young. I waited till I was about almost 30 before I had my first child. But the younger fathers need an example. You feel me? And the mothers too. To be quite honest, with you, need a positive example of parenting, of parenthood. If they can get that example from us, like I got that example from those before me, then it'll make everything better for the kids. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
Right.
Exactly. Well put, brother. Well put.
Yeah. I was just having that conversation, or with a friend of mine earlier, and they were saying, how, the example or the role model, having that fatherly role model is important. And I recognize I've had some fatherly role models. I mean, my father-in-law, before he passed, he took care of my kids when they were younger. My dad himself, he was a great role model. He came into my life when I was like 19 years old. He was technically my stepdad, but to this day I'm like, that's my father, because he really raised me. He really brought me up, taught me how to be a man, and taught me how to be the father that I am today. So you definitely have to have those role models in order to understand where you need to be, or what you need to do when you're trying to be a father, or try to be a role model in general to the kids out there.
Yeah, you're definitely right. Because dealing with the youth that I deal with, getting to know the parents, the supervisors, the guardians and everything like that, for me it's sometimes not easy, but once I get to understand the kid, I can understand the environment. So, having to deal with them for 3 or 4 hours of practice, and even having to go to 4 or 5 days out of town on football trips, tournaments, I get to be one-on-one with the kid. So usually I have, the role model, position where I can, interject, my opinion and, like understand where they're coming from. And sometimes to put myself in their shoes when I was their age, it's hard. Coming from where they're coming from in this generation is hard, because they're coming from a single-parent home.
Right.
So I come from them from like, a father figure, a best friend, and a mentor. I try all the time to come from them from a mentor perspective, because they can relate to me before we get to the next level. Each step takes time. They got to bond with me, So at the end of the day, the best bond I have on my team, not to sound selfish, is with my godson, because I have him all the time, every day, 24/7. He's 10 years old. So when they see that bond, they want to question, who is he? What kind of person am I? What kind of father figure? What kind of mentor am I? So that lets me interject myself in their world. But it's hard because I don't have that relationship with the parents, the guardian, or the supervisor. You know what I mean? Because we take report cards. We take, the performances and everything like that, because to play a sport, it takes privilege. So if you don't have that privilege, you got to improve in life. And then that's what we trying to teach to the adolescents that are growing up. We're not talking about 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. We're talking about 10, 11. This is when they getting the perspective of reality. It's hard out here, so they have to have mentors. And as a coaching staff, organization, as a man, and as a father figure, I'm trying to show them all of that in one scope of life, that like this, and that. So,
right.
Yeah, no doubt.
To lead into our topic, Willie, you actually came up with some great topics. Which one you really want to get into first?
I mean, definitely. Let's go ahead and segue into that reclaiming, the role, because I think, like you said, we're really talking this about being role models and being, seeing the positivity in the last, couple weeks for Father's Day and everything. And so one of the things I was thinking about was, the role of being fathers and the role of being the head of families is something that, especially for black men, we're talking father to all fathers out there, white, black, Haitian, Puerto Rican, whoever you are out there. But, as we see in the past, as being black men, the three of us being black men here on the show, black families have been disadvantaged when it comes to having a father figure either in the home or taking the proper role in the home. And, nowadays we're seeing some great role models coming up, like I said, with the younger fathers, even with the older fathers who are trying to, do better, and I think that's important to think about and to discuss in terms of, what we're seeing now in this trend, why it's happening, you know what I'm saying? So what do you guys think about, have you seen a greater trend, especially in your areas? Be more, I know how that is over there. You guys got a lot going on with the families and a lot of things that you're trying to do to try to uplift these kids. And then Trenton too, it's probably just like Detroit here where we're trying our best to try to be great role models for the kids and everything because we know that there's that missing piece at home a lot of times. Jabril,
you want to go first, bro?
Get started.
No, go ahead, Black.
Oh, okay, I'll jump in. I definitely believe, I definitely agree with you that there has been a shift. I think this era of fatherhood, not the previous era, but, like the 80s and the 90s, I feel like, it was a lot more because, the crack epidemic, the drug epidemic, a lot of people getting hooked to drugs or going to jail because of drugs. It really it fractured the family a whole lot, in the 80s and 90s, especially in this area, in this area trend. So I feel as though now in this era, it's more of everybody, the kids then that are parents now want to be better than what their parents are. Their parents were.
Sure.
First off, and then, those of us that had an example of father figure there, we want to be better than our parents as well, because that's what was instilled in us. Okay, you have to be better than us. So I think that's kind of the shift that's going on, and I've noticed it mainly not just on social media, but in person. One day just walking, because I think we're appreciated more, and I think appreciation needs to be showed more. And like one day I'm walking with my daughter, she on her scooter. I'm just letting her ride around the block. A young lady rolled by, had her son in the back seat, and she stopped, and she was like, what, that's dope right there. You know what I mean? If don't nobody tell you that they appreciate you, I'm gonna just tell you. I didn't even know her.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then she just drove off. You know what I mean? I was like, thank you. You know what I mean? Even though,
that's all it takes.
Yeah, that's all it takes. But then that shows me that people are paying attention. And then, I wasn't doing it for nobody to show me props. That's my daughter.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I was just, she wanted to go around the block on the scooter. All right, well, let's go. But I know that we're being watched, first of all. And when we're on our job, it is, especially the black man, is highly appreciated. I feel like, for so long, the black woman has been holding us down.
True.
Not holding us back. I'm talking about holding us up. I'm going to put it that way. They've been holding us up on their shoulders. You feel me? And it's time for us to come back, and pop them up now.
It's going to come back. It's going to come back, but it's got to be more positivity. Because from where I'm at, I ain't gonna lie to you brothers, man. From where I'm at, it's a lot of slacking fathers. Not to downplay the fact that is different regions got different scenarios and different different problems. But all it takes is a community. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
The community depends on what these kids see as far as role models. You know what I mean? So even if the father is in the picture, big ups to my brother Clint. He's in the picture. He's doing what he has to do. Big ups to you, really. You're doing what you got to do. But 5 out of 10 brothers that's in the community, right, is no longer than 3 or 4 blocks, and their kids live down the street. They can't even come see them. You know why? Because they're preoccupied. We got to get our minds straight. We got to focus. We got priorities in order and responsibility, because when it comes down to it, we don't want to repeat our past. You know what I mean?
Right, true that.
Even if you didn't have a father in your life, you have a responsibility now in your life to make amends for what you didn't have. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to sacrifice something for the greater good of your legacy. That's what black men need to realize. Our legacy is more important, you know what I'm saying, than our past. You know what I mean?
You know, what you just said was perfect. Like, we got to break the cycle.
Yeah. Right, the cycle. We got to break that cycle. That's true. Yeah.
We've been caught in a vicious cycle, and we got to break it. And that's why, you know, we're talking about not just fathers, but black men, period. Black men in the community, period. So we have to project a positive image as well. Yeah. So that's why it's dope for you when you saying you got the football team, the organization, y'all throwing cookouts for the kids. And Willie was, you know, talking about, you know, the organization that do something for him in his area. And, you know, all of that is important. You know, it is, you're right, a community. You know what I mean? They have to see not just the black man in their home, but the black man outside.
Right.
You feel me? It's also projecting the positive image, because we all know, you know, especially as kids, what goes on outside is highly influential. You know, if you're not, you know, a lot of, you know, we try to raise kids and be taught to be leaders, you know, but for the most part, a lot of people you follow sometimes. Even if you turn out to be a leader, sometimes you get caught in that little following situation and get caught up into the wrong thing.
Nowadays, even if you tell a kid that you live in the same neighborhood with, that you know their father, their uncle, even if you tell them, yo, go in the house, you don't supposed to be out on here, whatever, they're disrespectful. But you know what happened? You know what I'm saying? As far as the community, to know that, yeah, you don't talk to this person like that, you don't talk to this person like that, they're your elders. They have to start respecting their elders. We always have respect for our elders. That's why we still fear the elders that are still alive from our generation, because they know that we got here to because of they, you know what I'm saying, respect.
True that, yeah. I mean, and that's the thing, is that a lot of times, you know, in this day and age, you know, that respect level is not being taught properly either, you know. So I think it goes back to, you know, how we were being raised in the last 10 or 20 years, and then how we're going to be raising these kids. I mean, I know even in the way I've raised my kids, you know, I've taught my kids to be respectful, but I know that my mom taught me to say yes, sir, yes, ma'am. And, you know, I have to admit, you know, I didn't teach my kids to say yes, sir, yes, ma'am to everybody. You know what I mean? I told them to give respect where respect is due. But, you know, it's something, it's showing, you know, how the shift is happening. And, you know, and I wouldn't doubt that there's, you know, people out here who aren't even teaching their kids to give respect, let alone how to give respect.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You know, as a you know, there are parents out here who teach that, but, you know, we see it in the community that a lot of these kids, they really don't have that high respect for adults. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But then on the flip side of that is we also got to take accountability of what are we putting out there, what are we giving them to respect.
Right, true.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Now, it ain't just about what they're being taught at home, it's also what they're being shown outside. You know, so when I, you know, I remember coming outside when I was little, you know, my mom was strict.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she was strict. You feel me? But when I came outside, you feel me, it was crack vials everywhere. I remember. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was junkies running up and down my street. It was dudes jumping on cars for sales. You know, I go into my park, it wasn't nothing but, gambling. We played basketball, but ain't nothing but a whole bunch of gambling, fights, seeing people get robbed.
Right.
Me and my boys, we sit around, we talk about stories. We talk about these stories all the time, and then we sit back, like 34, we in our mid-30s now, and we sit back like, damn, we was only like 11 when that happened.
And that's not what you want for your, that's not what you want.
Yeah, that's not what you want. Hey, right. Because then, first of all, when you're seeing all that, you feel me, you lose respect for some people, for adults. When you see adults acting a certain way that's crazy, they ain't showing themselves respect. You feel me? You lose, as a child, you lose respect for them. I gotta respect you. Look what you doing out here.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So now you have that. As a child, seeing that, I remember vividly just losing respect for a lot of old heads.
Oh wow, yeah,
out here.
yeah.
I remember it. I forget the rapper name right now. It escaped me, but he said a line. He was like, "I don't even blame you. I blame your old head." But basically, what he was saying is like, it really ain't your fault. It's how you grew up, where you grew up, the morals you learned. You feel me? You wasn't taught properly. You know what I mean? You ain't seen how things are properly supposed to be done. So, you know what I mean? The way you acting now, I can see why.
Right.
And that's that cycle. So if I don't see it, I don't see a proper way to act outside, like, and then, you act out that way sometimes yourself. So, and you continue that cycle. At some point when we get older and we become men, we have to take responsibility for ourselves. You feel me? And we have to break that cycle within us ourselves.
Right.
I think that's the key first.
And that goes back to what Jabril was saying earlier about the community. I think it goes back to, how the community is. I mean, it takes a community to raise these kids, right? And so how the community is embracing the children, how they are teaching the children, what programs are available, what people are doing out in the streets, how people are, either owning their community or letting it go to waste, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's important that the community does its part in helping raise these kids and helping them see, how things should be versus, how things have gone by the wayside in the past. So it's definitely important for that. It's definitely sad to hear, like what Jabril was saying about, a lot of the deadbeats out there, the slow ones, the ones that ain't really doing what they're supposed to be doing. They there, but they're not really there. Luckily here, it's you see it in certain areas. You see certain people, but I've noticed here in the city that there's been an uptick and more positive role models, being shown from the fathers. A lot of the neighborhoods I go through, I traverse through, a lot of the communities that I see, doing programs and doing different events and things like that, I think they're starting to show that there's a real uptick in the number of dads that are really trying to be positive role models for their kids and other kids in their neighborhoods and in their areas. Right now I live in the suburbs, but, I still have business clients in the city. I still have family in the city. So I'm in the city like all the time, so I see it all the time. I'm seeing it, that there is a positive movement even, for that. There's different groups, like I said earlier, that do things for the kids, that do, like there's a group right now that has a different, what is it called, like a clothing drive. They do picnics. They do coats for kids. They do everything. Shoes for school time, all that type of stuff. I think it's called the Men 300 or 300 Men here in the city of Detroit. There's different activist groups out there. There's a movement. You know what I mean? Show that positivity, show that those role models that are being fathers here. Go ahead, Jabril.
Yeah, one of the things that I would like to see more is that as these adolescent kids are growing up, we might not be popular to them, but we can have the influence as, role models we can have influences as father figures and and etc. But what I like to see in every black man that has power to influence the younger generations to where that they can receive like a message, receive information to where that they can build on that. But I don't see that at the end of the day, because in every city, like I said, is different. But in Baltimore or any city, everywhere is at, I just like to see if you're in a position you can give back. We like to see people give back, because if you are in somewhere you're on a high pedestal, they're gonna look up to you more than people that are just living a regular life.
So just in the neighborhood, right? Yeah, I feel you.
Exactly. So we over here we trying to build that as as a youth organization, because these youth organizations, they're going to go from middle school, junior high school, to high school, to college. So we want to show them at the end of the day, be your own man, be a follower. I mean, be a leader, not a follower. We try to instill values in them that so they can make their own decisions. They can come back, and then they make it. God willing, they make it to the next level. Come back and give. But in every community, we need to see that.
That is a major thing. That is
major. Well, hold on. One thing, guys, I want to just shout out the number. Anybody that's listening on the stream, if you want to call in, the lines are open. Number 657-383-1155. Again, the number is 657-383-1155. Or live tweet us at G.F.T_radio, at G.F.T_radio, if you want to get in on this discussion. Go ahead, Clint.
Oh, yeah. I forgot all about putting that number out. But, like I was saying, about the role models. We need more of that, and we need more people giving back. What just happened in Trent recently, I don't know if y'all, the Powerball family here hit it last year. It's like $400-something million in the city of Trent.
Oh,
and they what they did this year was they started like a little foundation or something. They give it back to the city, so to speak. I thought that was dope, because they could have just cut and run. So, they're doing their thing, and I think that's a positive for people to see that, give back.
Mm-hmm. You
have to give back in some shape, form, or fashion. You have to give back. Even if you like, if you listening, like, if you don't want to join the organization, cool. Like, everybody don't want to join the organization. Everybody don't want to join the Big Brother program or something like that. I can understand that. You feel me? That's not you. But you out here. You out here in these streets. You out here working or whatever, and you see a young man or a young lady doing something that get them caught up, or you feel me? You see some potential in them. Speak it to them.
Right.
Let them know.
It can go a long way.
Yeah, definitely.
You never know what some positive reinforcement or letting them know, man. When I did that, I was making that same mistake.
Right.
Don't do that.
I mean, I think it's as little as talking to the youth, talking to the teenagers, talking to the young adults that you're around. You know what I mean? My son is his friends are always over here. One of my older sons, his friends are always over here. I'm always talking to them. They in their early 20s, and I'm always like, hey, what y'all doing? Where y'all working at? What's going on in your lives? That kind of stuff. Schooling them on little things here and there when I see them doing something, and praising them when I see them doing something right. You know what I'm saying? I think it's important to try to affect the youth and the community that you're around. My little ones, when they have their little friends, they playing with, I go out there, I kick it with the little kids, make sure that they, got what they need. They need a ball to play with, throw them some balls to play with, throw them some games that they can play. You know, they want to play instead of having them in here playing video games all the time. They out there playing on the tablets and stuff. Give them board games to play. You know, get their minds right. You know, that kind of thing. So I think it's important.
Let me ask y'all brothers something. As important it is to build the youth up, you know what I'm saying, and to be there for them, to mentor them, right? How much of a value is it to see, you know, put an age on it, but as far as, you know what I'm saying, you know, what is the word? What's the cap? Health is wealth. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Health is wealth. You know what I mean? If they see you deteriorating, they don't want to be like you. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
they don't want to be like you. They want to see a strong, you know what I'm saying? Not to say, like, you know, you got to be front or you got to build yourself up to physique-wise, but if you can teach them, you know what I'm saying, the importance of health, that's what matters to our kids these days, because a lot of black kids are growing up to be obese.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So we want to specify that, you know, that health is more important than, you know what I'm saying? Because they chasing money. They chasing money. They chasing a quick way out. You know what I'm saying? Instead of investing in themselves. We gotta teach them to invest in themselves. You know what I'm saying? Take care of your body. Stay away from drugs. Work out. Eat right. You know what I'm saying? Because when you go up to be 40, whatever, it's gonna catch up with you now when you're younger.
Definitely. I was talking about that, man. It's definitely catching up with you, and you know, and I do that too, you know, because like right now, you know, I'm on this health kick right now. Not even just a health kick, man. I'm really buckling down and get myself together. You know, I just turned 40 last year, and I've been, you know, working my way down to a better weight, you know, body weight, a better health outlook. You know, I got to a pre-hypertension state where my blood pressure was running high, higher than normal. And my doctor, as soon as he told me I was going to have to take some medicine if I didn't get it together, I started like, forget that, I'm about to get it together. So I told my kids, the young kids that come through here, the older ones, you know, especially those 20-year-olds. I'm like, you know, y'all got to get off that cigarettes, y'all got to get off that weed, y'all got to get off this liquor. You know, you can't be out here, you know, thinking that it's not affecting you just because you don't see it now. You know, it's not going to affect you at 20, 23, 25. It's not. But as soon as you get 35, 45, you're gonna be like them old dudes.
No, because they think it's cool to be skinny now because they can fit them in skinny jeans. It's not cool to be skinny.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
It's not cool. It's not cool to be malnutrition. You know what I'm saying? It's not cool to be malnutrition. You're not gonna be popping perks and you drinking lean and be $1.15 soaking wet. You know, because now you know what that means. You know what that means because, and this how it goes back to the community. The ones that are inflicting harm in the community are the ones, the preteens and the teens or whatever that, excuse my language, won't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because they feel as though, you know what I'm saying, they can wear the fly shit and all that because they're malnutrition. So they can just go ahead and inflict harm because they're not fit enough to stand toe to toe. Because you know why? Because they don't care about their body. They just go on day to day. We gotta look at longevity.
And I guess that's the major point right there. They don't care about their body.
Right.
Value of life. You feel me? I think that needs to be promoted more because that's basically what quality of life.
Yeah.
Right. Quality of life. That's basically what he's talking about. And you can't really have a good quality of life if you're living unhealthy. If you're living an unhealthy lifestyle. You know, I know that for a fact. I know that personally. You know what I mean? It will catch up with you. You feel me? When you least expect it, it will catch up with you. You know, you'll wake up one day, literally, like, hold on, something ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with no warning. No warning.
But it takes discipline.
It takes discipline. And it also, you know, and we have to show that discipline in them. You know, that's why, you know, I always worked out. Brill could tell you, I always played basketball. No, I mean, that was my thing. I always worked out. My main thing, he push up everything. My main thing is it was inconsistencies, and sometimes I go I'll work out like 3-4 months straight, and then I stop for like a month and a half. And in that month and a half or two that I don't work out, I'm really living an unhealthy lifestyle. You know what I mean? It ain't just, I'm not working out. I'm not eating right, drinking, smoking, not sleeping, all of that stuff, it wears your body down. It breaks your body down.
It's the circumstances that we got to live, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's also, like, that's how, growing up, that's all you seen, man.
Yeah.
Like, to be quite honest with you, man. Like, you want to have some fun, the best fun, you go get high, go get faded, or whatever, and go bug out. You up all night. Lord knows what you doing. What type of activities you in. And you're not thinking. You're thinking this is how it's supposed to be because this is all you see.
It's glorified.
That's what's glorified. You know what I mean? So we got to stop glorifying the negative.
Because the person that can afford to do that, though, is the person that has, wealth, that doesn't care about their health. Because they feel as though their wealth is going to carry them on. But when that shit run out, when the well dries, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you got to come back and build your strength back up. But a man that has no wealth, he has his body that's going to make him that wealth. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
His mind, body, and spirit. You know what I'm saying? So if you have no mind and body and spirit and you chasing wealth, you're going to run your well dry. Because when you acquire wealth and you can't enjoy it because you crippled, what do you work for?
Right.
You got to build yourself up. Well, I'm fortunate enough, to observe the month of Ramadan. You know what I'm saying? And the month of Ramadan for me is significant because it's the holy month, for Islam. You know what I'm saying? So I see all my friends that doing the same, routine, regimen, everything like that. Once I fall back and I get my body and my mind and my soul in order, I feel as though, I got more power over everything that I can accomplish throughout the day. But everything that comes to you, it comes to you in pieces. It comes to you in, steps. So the whole month I sustain from all of that to give me more strength in life because I'm building my body up because it's my temple. But if I break myself down to be part of something that I don't want to be a part of, just to be cool, I'm going to regret it later when I have the chance right now to build myself up. For 30 days, I could sacrifice 30 days for life.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I think I think that's
what it is.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing too is that a lot of people don't think through, what they're doing to their body and how it's going to affect them in the future. And like you said, the not even just the longevity, but just being able to function. You know what I mean? I see young people nowadays who they can't lift nothing. They can't get along. I mean, you to get a factory job, you got to be able to lift 40 pounds. And I know some young guys who could barely lift themselves off the ground, let alone another 40 pounds. And it's the same, you know what I'm saying? You that young, and you just can't get yourself together to do this one little task, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's, like you said, it's important to keep that in their mind that, your health is everything. And then one thing that made me, get it together too was thinking about, I'm a young grandfather, but I'm a grandfather too. And I got a 6-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a newborn that are coming up that they want me to come play with them and run around and play, tag and push them on the swing and run up and down the street with them.
You can't say your knees hurt.
Exactly. You can't do that. You can't do that, smoking on a square, and you can't do that, sitting in the back drinking 40s, with your gut all hanging out. You can't do that.
Yeah, they're gonna cross you over.
Exactly. I had to show my 6-year-old the other day, like, look, you can't let this old man cross you up, So I was I took my 11-yearld out on a 4-mile walk, and he huffing and puffing. I'm like, look, you gotta get it up together because you want to be able to keep up with me. So I like that. Like I'm still able to do this kind of stuff with them.
They motivate you. They motivate you.
Exactly.
And you motivate them.
Right. Yes. But now they want to be like me instead of, like you said, sitting up there looking at.
Because Clayton knows that back in college I couldn't do 15 push-ups for it depended on my life.
Right.
I couldn't do 15 push-ups. It depended on my life.
Yeah, but it was fragile.
I was fragile. I was buck 20. I was buck 20 coming in. Buck 20 coming in. I couldn't do that to save my life. But you know what? That gave me perspective because coming to a new environment with new faces, you know what I'm saying, everything like that, you got to know who you're dealing with. Mm-hmm. I knew who I was dealing with from the gate when I came through. You know what I'm saying? Because he was about that. He was about his self-respect. When a man gives you his respect, you got to give it right back. You know what I'm saying? So when we came through, and we seen all that fuckery going on, we said, you know what? We respect each other. We're going to rise above this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then and to this day, that's my brother. You know what I mean?
Fact, though.
That's my brother. You know what I'm saying? We motivate each other. No matter what coast we on, no matter how, whatever, we motivate each other. You know why? Because we men of respect. And whoever he comes across, he has to give that out. He got to receive that. Wherever I'm at, I got to give that and I got to receive that. That's what men do. We got to reciprocate love. We got to reciprocate respect. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of, we go back to the topic, a lot of father figures, you know what I'm saying? They don't receive or give that respect because they don't get it back. That's why they fall off. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree with you on that. You know what I mean? Because it all comes back to respect, you know. And basically, what you was talking about was respecting yourself,
right?
First and foremost, you know, when you respect yourself, your body, your temple, and people see that, then you know they see the value in that. You feel me? Then they see the value in themselves, and then they want to start respecting themselves more. And then that's when the tide can change, because then, you know, we all have a high level of self-respect, and that goes with physically and mentally. You know, we have to promote education. You know, we have to promote knowledge of self. You know, that's one of the major things in the black community that I think is hindering us. The type of education we're receiving. You know,
it's not cool to be smart no more in this generation, though.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, because
it's not cool.
Because I was having a discussion with a couple of my friends. I'm like, you know, we grew up in a rough neighborhood, bro, but it was fun, you know, for us as kids. But you know, because we just looking at through it out of a kid's lens, out of a kid's eyes, you know. But one thing was, you got clowned for being dumb. Or you know, even if that may be bad, and people may look at it, but to us, it wasn't cool to be dumb. You know, even if you were bad and getting in trouble, you feel me? It wasn't you feel me? You still wasn't cool if you was dumb. People still look at you like, oh, you're an idiot if you dumb. If you don't like to read, if you know what I mean? Like sometimes we used to get in trouble, and we used to have to like before lunch, we'll get in trouble in school or whatever. So what they'll make us do before we eat lunch, they'll give us the sentence we'll have to write or something. And we'll have to, y'all got to write it 100 times before y'all can eat. You feel me? Something like that. We used to get in trouble sometimes just to see who could finish the fastest.
Right.
You know, who could write it. You know what I mean? Who could write it the fastest.
Right.
You lose, I get your chocolate milk. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember being in high school, I have a competition who's going to get the best grade on a test, who's going to have the best grade in class. Because that was the thing. You wanted to be smart. You didn't want to be the dummy in class. You wanted to be the one, you know, no matter how gangster you was, you still wanted to be one of the smartest kids in the class still. You still wanted to, if not even the smartest in the class, you wanted to be considered like you had a mind of your own. You didn't want to be, you know,
even
that's a question.
Like a gangster, you couldn't be considered a real thorough gangster if you were stupid.
Right.
You was a dozer.
Right.
You feel me? You was a dozer.
Yeah, you smart.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need you. You stupid. We don't need you, nigga.
And this goes back to, because I had one conversation with one of my student athletes, because I call them student athletes. Before you were an athlete, you were a student. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why how I refer to them. I refer to them as student athletes because to play football is a privilege in my eyes. You know what I'm saying? Or any sport. So I was having a conversation with one of my student athletes on Father's Day, and I was like, yeah, what's going on? Woo, woo, woo. And it was like, I was like, what's the last time you saw what's the last time you saw your father? It broke my heart. This nigga said, fuck that nigga. I don't fuck with him no more. He's 11.
Oh, damn.
He's 11. I said, what? I said, what are you talking about? I said, yo, first of all, don't use that kind of language around me or any of the coaches. I said, what are you talking about? He said, he ain't buy me this. I'm like, so that's why you don't respect him, because he ain't buy you what you wanted? I said, you have to understand one thing. You have to earn your grace, to earn privileges, to earn your life. You have to earn your way through life. It's not going to be given to you. I said, you know how many kids on your team don't have nothing that you wish that you had, that you crying about? They just happy to be here to get food? I mean, you talking about you disrespecting your father? I said, when I see your father, next time I see your father, I'm going to talk to him. You know what I'm going to tell him? Let me see his report card. When I see your report card and you didn't deserve it, I'm going to make you apologize to him face to face, and I'm going to tell him what you said. You know what he did? He started bawling out crying. Because you was lying.
Because he know he was wrong. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was trying to show off. I said, don't show off, man. I said, because you don't get nowhere in life fronting, because somebody's going to pull your card. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because you know what he started listening to? He started listening to these new rappers that have everything that he thinks he deserves.
Yeah.
I don't listen to them.
Kids nowadays, they feel entitled. They feel like.
Hello? Hello? You breaking up, Will?
Yeah, you're breaking up, Will.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, yeah. So like I was saying, these kids nowadays, they feel entitled to everything. They feel like they need to have everything that they want versus just what they need. And, they don't understand that there's a limit, that there has to be limitations. For one, you can't have everything because you don't deserve everything. Then two, you don't get everything that you want because, what are you going to get later? You know what I'm saying? You gotta have some, you got to stepping stones, baby steps to this thing. So.
And it's about values. Even with my 4-year-old, when she asks for something, and I'll be like, nah, you're not getting it right now, and like she'll start crying or something. And because I want her to learn this stuff early. You feel me? I feel like this is her most formative years. This is when she's like a sponge. You know what I mean? She'll soak everything up, even if she don't understand it. She had the knowledge. You feel me? And worry about the understanding later. You feel me? It'll come with time. But it's like, I don't want you crying. You sitting here crying over stuff that really holds no real value in life.
What could be easily given could be easily taken away.
Yeah, like you're crying over frivolous, like these things are frivolous that you're crying over. Like I don't be screaming at her, yelling. Like I really try to talk to her to make her understand. Like, okay, you don't. I didn't get you this toy, right? You want this toy while we're at the store, and now you start crying. Now, how many times I bought you a toy, and then within 2 to 3 days, it's tossed in the closet somewhere, or it's broken? Right.
Realistic.
But I said, and half the time it ain't even because it's tossed in the closet because it's broken something. You've already lost interest. Because you gave it more value initially than what it was worth. And then when you got it, you realized it wasn't that valuable. You know what I mean? That's how I want you to look at everything. Don't be so, understand the value. If it's not going to help you, learn or improve as a person or be better, it doesn't really hold value. You know what I mean? So that's why, like, today's generation, they value frivolous things. You feel me? Like you said, materialistic things, to where that stuff can be taken away from you. You feel me? And then what you left with, then who are you? You know what I mean?
And the same thing. That's why exactly. Like, who are you? I mean, what value do you hold in my life? And that's the same way that I tell my kids, my student athletes, I said, music doesn't define you. You know what I'm saying? Tell them music is only a story told by somebody else that's not in your position. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's not in your shoes. They only looking from the outside in. You have to live that reality that they live in. You know what I'm saying? So don't chase that. So at the end of the day, you know, music, materialistic, you know what I'm saying, everything that holds value is being portrayed by people that's in higher power that our kids, our generation that's growing up right now are holding value to because social media tells them to.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean that's a even bigger problem is the influence of their friends, social media, music, and trying to break them out of that. Right? You got to break them out of that. You got to focus them on the real things. And I think a lot of times it's environmental because a lot of people, you know, you live in a certain area or you grow up around certain types of people, and so your kids don't see the fact that they have privilege or that they have things that other kids don't have or that other people don't have. I think it's important to kind of show them. You know, you gotta take them out their environment, take them out their comfort zone, and show them, hey, you know, you don't have you don't not have everything you need. You have what you need, and you even have a lot of things that you want. You know, and you have a lot of things that other people want. So, you know, like I've taken my kids down to certain areas of the city and say, look how these, you know, folks have to live. Look how, you know,
exactly.
People had to end up because, you know, either they didn't get the breaks that you got, or they didn't have education, or they didn't have
privilege.
Exactly. You know, so you know, number one thing that I tell my kids all the time, like, you know, I don't have to put you in XYZ sport or XYZ activity, you know, just because you want it to be in there. You know, I do it because I think you need it, and that, you know, I know you have the grades to be able to do it. But, you know, look at your cousins.
You have to earn these Kobe. You have to earn these LeBron.
Exactly, who aren't able to do these kind of things, who aren't able to go to this baseball camp or basketball camp, you know, because their parents can't afford it, or they don't have the grades to go there. So, you know, it's a lot you got to point out to them, you know, so that way they understand. Because other than that, they're just looking at, you know, what Young Jeezy talking about or what Lil Yachty talking about. That's all they're gonna be listening to. And, you know, you got to break that cycle, you know.
Exactly.
We're always about to go into the after show. I just want to throw out the number again one more time: 657-383-1155. Want to call in and get in on this topics from the man cave. You know, fellas, go ahead and keep it going. We got a lot of good topics going on around here.
I wanted to get back to the health part real quick because I think that needs to be stressed more in our community, you know, because, you know, like I be working my little brother out, all my little brothers, I be working them out. So, you know, I've been having in the park sometimes wanting suicide. You know, you can see it in their face. I mean, you know, they was complaining. I said, now listen, I said, you think it hurt now while you're running these suicides. What's going to hurt even more is if you wake up one day and you're not able to run a suicide.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want you to think about that for a second. You feel me? Running all these suicides, it's hurting me. I'm doing it because I want you to appreciate it, because one day if you wake up and you can't, you feel me, that's going to be a hurting feeling. You feel me? You don't want to know what that feels like at a young age.
Appreciate it now.
Appreciate it. You know what I mean? You feel me? Make your body as strong as possible. You know? Sometimes I'll be working them out, and I'll be looking, I'll be like, man, I'm about to run these suicides. Like, man, I can't run these damn suicides. You feel me?
Right.
You know, but like I'll be 34 this year. I'm supposed to be in my physical prime, like, or at the tail end of it. You know, I'm still supposed to be physically able to run suicide just as much as they is right now. You know, but I can't.
All about It's all about the energy that you give out.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
so I
It's
told
all
them.
about the energy you give out, because the energy that you give out, the energy that you receive to be stronger, because the strength that you get from them, they're gonna get from you too. Because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, we go around, we see elders that are physical, but are now mobile. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm,
so the
sure.
mobility, imagine, can do what they can with their strength at their age, but they didn't invest in themselves. But now they want to give it back to the youth to get their energy back from them. So it's a circle, bro. It's a circle. It's a big circle.
When I go walking in, walk every week. I walk a bunch of miles. So I go to this park close to us called Veterans Park. You know, every morning when I go out there, it's this old man. And, you know, like one day I was out there, I was super tired. Like, first I seen him sitting out, he was just sitting on the benches out there. I mean, like the first day I seen him. Then the second day, I'm walking from a distance, and I see this figure, he got 2 canes, and he's stepping.
Right.
I'm talking about he's stepping. You feel me? And I'm walking, I'm like, oh, man, I kind of got emotional, because I'm like, I'm sitting here tired, you know, on my second mile at 33. This man probably, but he out there with his little 2 canes, and he just stepping. I'm like, nah. You feel me? That motivated me to keep going, going, push further. You know what I mean? So, you know, when I work out my little buck, I use them to motivate me as well. As much as I'm trying. So, like you said, that energy I give out and get back. You know, I'm using them to, like, you know, push to help me, to motivate me, and then I want them to see me in the predicament I am to avoid.
Right.
You know, to avoid this.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? You don't want to look at that. You don't want to look at that, looking down all the way down that court, thinking twice, like, man, am I going to make it back if I try to run this thing full speed? You feel me? If I'm going to pass out.
Right.
I got a question. I got a question for Will. Will, what can you give to the the younger generation? You know, we're not, you know, what can you give to the younger generation as far as, you know what I'm saying, to the longevity, as far as your wisdom and your knowledge, you know what I'm saying, as a growing family that you got going on? What can you give us, you know, as far as, like, you know, the discipline, as far as, you know, to get to, you know, where we need to go on in the long run?
Man, the main thing that I always give to I always tell to my kids and the kids around me is just try to be better than you were. Be better today than you were yesterday. And what I mean by that is try to improve yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally, you know, to be able to, continue to be successful, to continue to have good relationships, to continue to be, affecting your community and your family. So, you know, everything that you do and everything that you touch, you need to try to do it a little bit better. You know, you don't have to make just huge strides every day, but as you strive to be a better person, to be a better sister, brother, family man, be a better husband or wife, or whatever the case may be, you want to try your best to do that. And sometimes it can be as little as, you know, reaching out to somebody and giving them the advice they needed from you yesterday, or reaching out and doing something nice for somebody because you know that they can't do it for themselves. I do a lot of volunteer work in the community. I do a lot of special programs through my job. I do a lot of special programs for the community and for the children. And I do that because not only just because I cherish being able to help people, but also because I feel like it's important to reach back and give back to the community in that way. You know, when I go into a class and I teach kids how to code, do computer coding, to show them how to fix computers, or show them how to I do these financial literacy programs each year as well with some people from my job. So we go into a school and we teach all the kids something at their grade level that's important about financial literacy. So, you know, there's a lot there that, you know, is important to give back to your community and give back to your family, so that way, you know, they can be better, and then they can lift you up in a way. You know, like you said, the energy you give is energy you get back. You know what I'm saying? So I think it helps to be able to do that and to always keep that in your mind. You know, that's where a lot of people, I think, fall off, is that they feel like, you know, well, I did such and such last year, and I think that's good enough, you know. And sometimes it is. It's not good enough, but, you know, that's good. It is good, but, you know, if that's all you've done, you know, then, you know, at some point it's not enough, you know, because you're not really affecting the change. You're not really, you know, uplifting the community or helping the community continue to move on. You know, you can't take a plant and put it in the ground and water it one time and say, well, I watered it last year. I don't understand why it's not growing. It's not growing because you're not cultivating it. You're not continuing.
But in the words of Tupac Amaru Shakur, I admire the rose that grew from a concrete. Or was that Maya Angelou? But anyways, God bless the child that can hold his own. God bless the child that can hold his own. Feel me?
I feel you.
Yeah, so, I go through, you know what I'm saying, with my community, all the men on the team, the father, you know what I'm saying, everything like that. I just say, you know, at the end of the day, you know, each one teach one. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how we're going to grow in numbers. You know what I'm saying? Because if you have a valuable knowledge, pass it on. Don't hold it to yourself. If you hold it on to yourself, you're not going to impact, or you're not going to make a substantial change what you want to see change. Because you can always complain about change until you make an impact. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, you can't change something until you change yourself.
True that.
I believe, I 100% agree. I believe in order to change yourself, get to know yourself. I'm going to go back to that. You feel me? And not just, you know, the history of the background, but you know, know yourself. You feel me? Don't stop lying to yourself. Know what you really like. Be honest with yourself. What you really like, what really makes you happy, passion for something, and attack it. You know, and attack it, because that's what's going to make you happy. That's what's going to make you whole. Too many of us are out here chasing false dreams, chasing waterfalls. You feel me? Like TLC said, too many of us out here chasing waterfalls. When, you feel me, get to know yourself, love yourself. When you love yourself, you know, unconditionally, then you can it will allow yourself to start making those positive changes, you know, to start helping people. You know, the real issue to me with you know, with a lot of the lack of love for self. You know, so then there's no love for anybody else.
Yeah.
You know, you're not trusting your neighbor. You know, you're looking at everybody's skeptical. You know, there's no faith in each other, so to speak. And that's because you really don't have no faith in yourself. You know, lead by example. Yeah. Lead by example. You know, so if you want to see the positive change in your community, be that positive change. Be that some form of action. Yeah. You don't got to be all, you know, it ain't about being some superhero out here.
It don't take money anyway. You don't take money at all. You don't take money at all. It takes your presence.
Yeah, just be a presence, be a positive presence. Exactly. That's it. You know,
got nothing to do with money. You got nothing to do with money. If you want to take your money and invest it in somewhere else, invest it in yourself, so people can look at you like you didn't do nothing for us. So when we have the money, we didn't want to invest in you when you want to come back to the community, because you didn't invest in the community. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you have money, come back, build somewhere that it can be productive. A playground, a basketball court, a tennis court, a baseball field. It don't take nothing. But if you let greed ruin you, you're not going to be productive for your community, because you're just going to be giving back to your community what you're a product of. You're a product of your own environment.
It's a topic. is a topic I want to touch on that we got about 15 minutes left. You know, the topic I want to touch on, we didn't get a chance to touch on yet. Paternity rights.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You want to go first, Willie?
Yeah, I brought that up because I mean it's an important topic to all men out here, especially in most days and ages of the last 50, 60 years is the fact that there's a shift or no there's a mismatch in how or lopsidedness to how paternity rights are handed out. We're as much as we see families that have no father figure at home, there's a lot of families out there that have become broken over time, and you see fathers not being able to acquire the paternity rights that they would like to have and being able to have time with their kids or even custody of their children if they want custody. And I think that's still an ongoing epidemic in some communities where women are given all of the rights and men have, are treated as checkbooks. They're like, hey, you just pay this, family to court or this child support money and keep it moving, and they don't get to see their kids or they don't get custody of the kids if they want to take custody, that kind of thing. So it's an ongoing problem, and I think that it's something that some community groups could help with, but the justice system itself or the courts themselves the family courts themselves can help with is they need to start recognizing that men can be substantial parents or viable parents, single parents. You don't have to be a woman to be nurturing. You don't have to be a woman to take care of a kid. You have to be a able-bodied and a willing parent, a willing participant in that relationship. And there's men that are willing, are able to do that. So I think it's
I definitely agree with you.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, though, really.
Are you guys seeing that in your communities where the men's rights are being just kind of stepped on and ignored?
I believe it's mainly that way because of worldly perception. Like we had this kind of discussion before that. Like you said, it's a perception out there, like gender roles, basically, that the woman was always the nurturer and the caregiver, while the man was like the hunter gatherer or whatever. So it was never really promoted in this society that the man can be just as nurturing and just as capable of raising a child as well.
I just thought it was supposed to be 50-50 though.
Yeah, but in this society, it's not. What's supposed to be really ain't what it is most of the time. So like I said, perception is that men couldn't or were never nurturers, this, that, and the third in this society. So when it comes to the court system, it was like, all right, the mother gets the child because that's her role. You feel me? So it was just a given.
Right.
But now I think now the tide is starting to change. I think it's starting to be more so. Okay, well, there are fathers that are really capable of taking care of their children, and furthermore, there's some women, some mothers out there that aren't quite, you feel me, good mothers, so to speak.
Right. Mothers ain't motherly no more, right?
Yeah, mothers ain't motherly no more. So
people are just having kids nowadays just to be financially gained.
Exactly, and I think society as a whole is starting to peak game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's starting to peak game. Every situation is the same. There are some deadbeat fathers out there, so there are mothers who should get custody. There are, you feel me,
mothers that
should
get custody
too. Yeah, but there are just mothers who are flat out, probably in a better position in the black community, because of just as far as they're more in the workforce than the black man. That's a fact.
Word.
You know what I mean? So in certain situations, yeah, you know what I mean? So, I can understand it.
Now, this is my thing, though. So So I mean, not that I want a black man sitting on his behind or nothing, but playing devil's advocate, why is it okay for a woman to sit at home and collect a child support check and a state aid check, but when it
and still be unfit.
But still giving the child though, right? Still giving custody.
Yeah.
But if a man is at home, he might be getting disability or something, and then and now he wants custody of his kids. And he's like, well, I'm at home. The wife works, or the ex-wife is working, or the mother of the child is working. And
yeah, it's like Clint said, though.
You don't see them handing it over.
We're supposed to be the food gatherer. We're supposed to bring big. Yeah, we're supposed to be the dominant gene. So you know what I'm saying. So if we go out there, we the hunter gatherers. We're supposed to bring food to the table. You know what I'm saying. And the women stay at home. That means at the end of the day that we are capable of surviving. The women are not.
Yeah, that's a good damn point. I didn't think he was gonna go that way, but that's a good damn point. I know a lot
they always go bad at that. They always go that way. They always go that way. They always go that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's always the gender role. And that's why I had to qualify it with like, the guy's on disability. Maybe he can't work because he messed up his leg. Now he can't hit the factory like he used to. So so what about him? Can he get his kid? Can he live? Can he get a maternity check and his disability and raise his kids the way he want to raise his kids? Can he have?
Now, let me tell you from personal experience, because I've been on disability. I'm on disability. You feel me? So, but I'm not the type to sit still. Period. You know what I mean? So I still got to get up and get out and get something. You feel me? Everybody knows that's just who I am. So, but I feel as though it's a double standard. You feel me? And it's just the reality of the situations. It's like Bill was just saying, and I said earlier, we are the hunter-gatherers. That's how we're looked at. Mm-hmm. So, if a man just sitting, and that's how we're trained in this society. Like, if a man is just sitting on his ass, you feel me, he really has to, like you said, he really has to have a legitimate excuse. You feel me? Even in my case, like this, for me personally, this being on disability or something isn't an excuse. You feel me? Now, I mean, I'm not dead. I'm still able to move around. My mind still works. So I can still go make money. You feel me?
Because you know I've been there and done that. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't work out for me because I said to myself, okay, well, I love her. She has a child. It's not mine. The nigga ain't doing shit, but I love her. I looked at it as like, it's not a baggage, it's a package. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to work. He's a year and a half, 2 years. I said, you stay home. While the nigga was sitting at home or whatever, he got locked up over and over and over again, I was still taking care of the child. But when the nigga feel like, excuse my language, when the man felt like, he felt like, oh, well, he want to be back in the picture again, what she do? She run back to him. And at the end of the day, I was sufficient enough to know that, I played my role, and she wanted to go back over there knowing he's going to do the same bullshit again, and then it happened again. Locked up. No, you don't come back to me because you're getting the check from him.
And you know what? That's the point I had brought up before on a previous show. Like, now it's time to get at you females. But really, you know what I mean? Y'all ain't going to like it. You feel me? Like, it's your fault in those situations as well. You feel me? Like, I hate when the female, when
it's good dudes being taken advantage of.
Mm-hmm. And then when you choose your mate, when you know what he into, like, I don't care. You gotta get it how you live, brother. You feel me? As long as you ain't killing nobody or hurting nobody, like, I'll be quite honest with you, this is we live. It's got to live in society. So ain't nothing really everything on the up and up. I don't care on what level. Everything ain't always on the up and up. So if you get your money, get it, boom. If you as a female know how he getting his money, and you still while he up, you condone that. You condone it. You feel me? But then when he suffer the consequences of his actions, now
they'll be there for him.
still be there for him.
Yeah.
Because, I don't want to hear you crying. Don't come crying on my shoulder.
It was all good a week ago.
Yeah, it was just all good a week ago. Don't come crying on my shoulder now. Oh, the niggas always getting locked up. Niggas ain't taking care. Hold on. Who told you to go with them? Who told you? Who told you to go deal with them? You got to take responsibility. It took two of y'all to make that child. First of all,
true.
You feel me? So you knew when y'all situation before, when you got pregnant, before y'all had sex, you knew y'all situation was not conducive to bring a child into it, right? So now
they thought money can change that, though.
They thought money, and they thought they could change him.
Right.
Sometimes in certain situations, but when you make that decision, you got to live with it.
The consequence.
You feel me? You got to live with the consequence. You got to know that. You feel me? You got to take responsibility for your actions.
Have you brothers ever had? Well, I guess Jabril already answered that question. So Clint, have you had that situation before where you've been kind of taken advantage of for the situation that it was in, and you knew and you had to kind of come out of that?
It was an eye opener.
I personally, it had been tried, but because the type of dude I am, that gangster, that super thug shit, y'all can keep that. You feel me? Y'all can keep and y'all can have it.
I'm a real man.
I'm a man. Like my pop raised me different. You feel me? Like I was taught. He rated me from an early age to be a leader, not a follower. So I never followed behind that. I never was scared of that. I walked amongst them. A lot of them type dudes are some of my best friends at the end of the day. So that's why when I say they can get it how you live, like I don't judge. Because I know certain situations.
You learn from mistakes.
You feel me?
Mistakes.
So when I also I learn from mistakes. So I see where that situation can go. So I never engage. I don't want to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean. So you understand? Like I hang with the wolves too. At the end of the day, sweetheart, I need you to understand that. So if I'm hanging with the wolves, you see me with the wolves, that's in me as well. You feel me? The wolves ain't gonna let those sheep hang around them. I don't care. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Oh shit!
So now when you come to me, I peep game too.
Right.
You understand? Like I can peep game too. So if you think, okay, I'm Clinton, a super nice guy, hold on, I am a nice guy. But I'm not the one you about to say that you about to take advantage of. You about to use me. You're not about to be a whole Monday through Saturday, then Sunday, now I found Clinton, I'm trying to be this. Nah, I'm not that dude. You feel me? You're not about to clean up on me.
What about if she showed you love that you never seen before, that she showed you that, you know what, I really love you. She played, but you know what? But
check this out. I know what type of female I like. You know what type of female I'm attracted to. Right. You feel me? So if a female that get off on that, it's certain females that get off on that lifestyle. I don't judge them. I'm not judging nobody, except for those who engage in that lifestyle. Then when they feel the consequences of it, you want to bitch up. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm judging you. Like, nah, don't bitch up now. You knew what was going on while you was doing it. So now when you start suffering, you knew these consequences was coming. It was a possibility. You feel me? So with me, is I'm not necessarily attracted to females who like that lifestyle. You feel me? I love me a street smart woman. I need my woman to be street smart. You feel me? But I don't need her to be in the streets. You feel me? So if a female, if you constantly attracted to street niggas, you feel me? I don't care how cool and official you is. Like, we could be friends. You feel me? But that's as far as
you can show me who my enemy is.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, but that's as far as it goes. I can't take it no further than that because I'm not attracted. I know what I like. You feel me? Don't just because you're fine or whatever don't mean, you feel me, humble yourself. You know
right.
You know what I mean? Sit down, be humble.
Kendrick,
be humble, sit down. You feel me?
Right,
like it ain't that. Yeah, I know what I like.
Right.
So I'm not. So if I get caught up in a situation like that, and I see it start turning that way, oh no, I'm gonna peep game early, and like, nah, he's gonna cut this off immediately. You feel me? We're gonna cut that off immediately.
Yeah, I feel you.
Have you ever been in that situation with it?
Huh?
Have you ever been in that situation? Somebody try to take advantage of you?
Oh man, yeah. I'm a sucker for love. I'm gonna admit that now. But I think the difference here is, and it's so funny because you can hear it in people's demeanor, right? Like when you talk about how your dad raised you, and so my dad didn't come into my life until I was like 10, 11 years old. And 9 or 10, but him and my mom, they get married till I was about 10 or 11. But prior to that, my mom and my aunt and my grandmother raised me, right? So everything they taught me was, take care of a woman, do this for a woman, spoil a woman, blah blah blah. So and then a lot of the role models, or not role models really, but the examples that I saw was like, oh, you got to do X, Y, and Z if you want to be in a woman's company, or you got to take care of her like this. So I was seeing that so much that so when I started dating, when I started, being out there, I was always like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to spend money, I got to, give this, I got to give that. If she say do this, I just got to do it, right? So it was definitely eye-opening experiences throughout dating, throughout, just dealing with families and stuff like that, and being able to start recognizing when there was a problem. I mean, I had a situation where a girl was trying to, basically just trying to get me to take care of her kids, and and it was like, no, I can't do it because you're not doing your part, And I had to recognize that it should be a 50-50 thing, or we both should be in this together. We should be building together, not just I'm doing all the work and you getting all the benefits. You know what I'm saying? I had a situation where it wasn't my situation, but I had to recognize for a friend of mine, like, look, if you seeing things going this way, and you were promised one thing and you getting another, then you got to open your eyes. Love is great and all, but at some point you got to take care of
love is good
yourself.
and all.
But you got to take care of yourself.
What's love got to do with it?
Exactly. Love don't pay bills either. I found that out the way. Love do not pay bills. But fellas, we about to run over in a second, and we got 2 minutes. I think we better wrap it up and give out those contact informations. And man, let's do this again one day. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully in the next couple months, let's do another roundtable, chop it up some more.
That'd be dope. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Well, y'all already know, all those listeners out there, y'all can hit us up on our website, G.F.T radioshow.com. You can hit us on Twitter at GFT_radio. We're on YouTube as well. Just put in GFT Radio. Google us. You feel me? You'll find us.
Yeah. We
shout out to worldwide.
Play music. Worldwide. We everywhere.
Yeah, on iTunes, everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So shout out to Sunny. She'll be back next week. Y'all know where y'all can hit her up at on her website, unreservedme.com. You can hit me up at my website, kingstruth.com. Willie, you want to go at and get information?
Oh yeah. You can get at me at Willie Styles everywhere. WillieStyles.info for my links. Jabril, thanks again for coming through. You always come through, but thanks for making it.
Yeah, thank you. I'm honored. I'm honored to be here. Grown Folks Talk Radio everywhere. You never there.
I appreciate you, brother.
For sure. All right, Clint, take us out.
All right, y'all. Catch y'all in 7 days.
Holla. I think I did it right. The lady gonna take us out.
Yeah, she gonna take us out. 10 seconds.
That's the show. All right.
Hi, Hi, you've reached the High Fashion Hotline.
Hi, my family's going to a picnic, but our clothes are stained.
That's quite a pickle.
Ketchup, actually. We want to look amazing.
Go to Old Navy.
Old Navy?
Yep, right now get up to 50% off all tees, all tanks, all shorts, and all dresses at Old Navy and OldNavy.com.
All up to 50% off?
Yes, get tees and tanks from $6 for adults, $5 for kids, and dresses start at $15 for women, $10 for girls.
Hey, everyone. We're going to Old Navy.
High Fashion, Old Navy. Valid 6/21 to 6/27. Excludes clearance jewelry, active, flat tees and tanks, licensed, and men's package tops.